We've reached 1992 and the end of the line for Nintendo. Clu Clu Land marks their final disk system release. Kind of. I'll talk about that weird situation in the next video. Regardless of anything else, Nintendo has definitely stuck with the disk system. Clu Clu Land feels like someone at Nintendo went, well, if we're going out, then we're going to do something I want to do that would never get approved normally. Clu Clu Land wasn't exactly one of Nintendo's smash hits from the early days of the Famicom. It's a real, oh yeah, they made that kind of situation. And rather than just re-release the same cartridge game, Nintendo took it one step further, doing something they did with a few other Famicom Disk System re-releases, and making this version of Clu Clu Land a port of Versus Clu Clu Land. This Disk System version is the only place that any home port of Versus Clu Clu Land has appeared. All other versions, including those published since this, have been based on the original cartridge. And as their last Disk System game, Nintendo went back to their roots. The style of disc label that they used is the same trade dress that they used for their original Disk System releases. We've come full circle here. Clu Clu Land is a classic score attack arcade-style game, which means there isn't really a plot to speak of. You control Groupie. Groupie is some kind of aquatic animal, and her goal on every stage is to uncover all of the gold ingots. The ingots start out invisible, hidden between the poles on the stage. And when Groupie passes over them, the ingots appear. You can see how many ingots are remaining in the upper left. This is one of the changes for the Disk System version, since in the original game they're gold nuggets, but here on the Attract mode, it tells you that they're gold ingots. There are two different game modes in Clu Clu Land, Beginner and Expert. In Beginner mode, you only have to uncover all of the ingots, while in Expert mode, the ingots are shiny after you discover them, and turn dull if you pass over that spot again. So naturally, completing the stage requires making all of the ingots shiny. If you start out in Beginner mode and clear 22 stages, then the game switches over to Expert mode. The way that you steer Groupie is the unique feature of Clu Clu Land. Pressing left and right on the D-pad will stick out Groupie's left or right arm. That will latch onto a pole as you pass it, making Groupie spin. Let go of left or right to retract the arm and move off in the direction you're facing. When you collide with a wall or one of the rubber bouncers, Groupie will bounce back and head in the opposite direction. This style of movement takes a while to get used to. It's harder than it seems to catch the pole at the right time and get yourself facing the correct direction in the correct row. But that unique steering method is what makes Clu Clu Land Clu Clu Land. As you progress through the game, you'll encounter enemies. These emerge from the black holes on the stage and wander around. They have trouble passing through the ingots that are revealed, so you can use that to your advantage. Hitting the A or B button will send out a sonic wave that will stun the sea urchins, and when they're stunned, Groupie can push them until they collide with a wall. That will smash the urchin flat and get you some bonus points at the end of the stage. If you kill a lot of the sea urchins, then a giant one will come out of a black hole, but it's just as vulnerable to the sonic wave as the regular sea urchins. Naturally, colliding with a sea urchin, or passing over a black hole when you're not latched onto a pole, will kill Groupie instantaneously, and you'll reappear at the level's starting location. You begin with 3 lives in the Disk System version of Clu Clu Land, which is down from 5 in the original cartridge. The layout of the ingots on the stage always have certain patterns. On early stages they draw a picture, but later on they become more abstract. These patterns come in sets, and which group you're doing is randomly determined. So you'll start out and get a random picture, and then complete that set of 5. Then you'll get the first picture of a new set, and so on. The original Clu Clu Land only had 4 sets of patterns, so 20 pictures. Versus Clu Clu Land, and the Disk System version, double that. 8 sets of patterns, or 40 pictures. A useful thing to be aware of is that most of the pictures are symmetrical, and the lines in the drawings usually link up. That can help you narrow down where to look for ingots. The stage progression itself also has a pattern. The first picture in a set is always just the picture by itself. The second introduces enemies. The fourth adds tunnels in the corner that let you warp between edges of the screen. And finally, the fifth stage in these sets of patterns opens up the left and right sides entirely, and you'll only be able to smash sea urchins into the top and bottom. At random points, items will appear on the maze to collect. Fruit and money bags are just worth points, but if you spot a flag, that's an extra life. Make it a priority to collect it. You are on the clock with every stage, and if the timer runs out, then you lose a life. You get about half the standard timer back when that happens. But wouldn't it be nicer to just finish the stage and keep that life? When you clear a stage, you get bonus points based on the amount of time left, the ingots that were on the stage, and how many sea urchins you've destroyed. Every 2 stages, you'll encounter a bonus stage, and here your goal is to just uncover the ingots that are in between every single post. The more you uncover, the more bonus you get. There's a 2-player mode in Clu Clu Land, though the second player doesn't get their own unique name, they're just Green Groupie. The game still plays exactly the same, it's just now you're competing with a friend for score. While Clu Clu Land was never especially popular, the fact that this is Nintendo's last Disk System game has gotten it a little bit of cachet. Though if you want to buy a copy, get ready to break out the wallet. Clu Clu Land for the Disk System is incredibly rare and incredibly expensive. I always kind of liked Clu Clu Land. I think it's a nice little twist on the maze game. This version of Clu Clu Land is even better. It must have been very out of place in 1992. It's a score attack game that's designed with 1982 sensibilities. But that doesn't mean it's not fun to play.